Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view. Today, spring edition 2026. Beauteous. Absolutely beauteous after a very rough Mother's Day weekend in the weather. Okay, so pouring down on Saturday where we actually celebrated Mother's Day at my son's, and then yesterday it was okay in the morning, but then it became not okay and gray and cold and drizzly in the afternoon when I went to go see my daughter. All right, so today it is Memory Monday. Memory Monday. All right, so I have a thought, and it came up this morning because I heard somebody kind of refer this, and I was like, oh, I totally get this. I totally understand this concept. Oh my goodness. And so I've been thinking about it all day. Well, I think about it a lot, just never with this context. And so it's like, yeah, but I can expound on that because that was like a 3-minute short, and I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's been on my mind, and I've never had it pop open in a way to describe it like this person did. I don't know who the person was. He was a video that was from somebody else's video. You know those Christian videos that says, you must watch this. You gotta watch this. You gotta see. And that's pretty much the basis of their content. And then they show somebody else's content. Nothing's wrong with that, because I may not have seen that content if I was waiting around to see that guy's content. So, but the problem is they rarely have who that is. Now, there's times they have people that I happen to know who they are, and it's like, oh, I know that dude. Okay. So nothing's wrong with that. I'm just saying that that's the type of content I saw it, so I don't know who this guy is to give him credit. All right. Okay. I have never been one that has a whole lot of friends. I just haven't. Now, I've always wanted a bestest friend, that I was their bestest friend and they were my bestest friend, and yeah, that doesn't happen. Okay. I've seen it. I've seen other people with bestest friends, but the interesting thing is, from way back when I first became a Christian and I was asking God for a bestest friend, he goes, you got one? I'm your bestest friend. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not your bestest friend. So anyways, I have good friends. I have great friends. There are friends that I call my best friend. My best friend, Roswitha, she passed away last year. I knew I was not her best friend, but I still called her my best friend. Why? Because she made just about everybody feel like they were her best friend. Amazing, amazing woman. Miss her very much. I have a really good friend in Alabama. Alabama. And she was one of my friends from high school. And so I call her my best friend, and I call her about once a year. I'm a horrible friend. But you know what's really great is we get on the phone and it's like, hey, we talked last week. We didn't. I actually love friends like that. So anyways, so I call her my best friend. And then I have a friend here in the area that I call her kind of my best friend because she's here. And she wants to be my friend. So we're friends. Actually, I have two of those. Two of those friends that are somewhat local. I feel like I just swallowed a bunch of feathers. I don't know what that was in the air. So, I have a couple of friends. Now, I've never been one of those people that need to have a whole bunch of friends. I remember when I worked at the bank in retail, when I was a teller, and a friend of mine, I say a friend of mine, but I say it loosely. All these people were friends, but work friends. Like, outside of work, I really didn't hang that much with them, right? Unless it was a get-together. I got together a couple of times, but just my schedule, their schedule, it wasn't working. And it's not like we had a lot in common, but I did like them. So I called them friends. And so I more think of everybody as acquaintances, people that I know, but I certainly don't get deep with them, right? I'm friendly with them. I'll go do activities with them, and different things, but they're more like acquaintances. And so I was talking about how I didn't have any friends, and she goes, "What are you talking about? You don't have any friends? You know so many people. You're in so many activities. You do all this stuff. You're there, and you're there, and you're there." She named multiple things, that I was involved in, and she goes, "You have a lot of friends." And I'm like, "Yeah, they're acquaintances." Well, she goes, "Well, who do you go to dinner with?" "No one." "Who do you invite over for dinner?" "No one." If I loved them, I wouldn't feed them. Not the food I make. They wouldn't be my friend no more. Anyways, she was quite taken aback that I didn't have any friends. I said, she's like, "You don't have a best friend?" I go, "Bill. Bill's my best friend. It's my husband." So, everybody's been talking about how you have to have friends. You got to be friendly. I read that when I was 18 years old in the Bible, where it says, in order to have friends, you must show yourself friendly. Because I was told I was being unapproachable. Whatever that was supposed to mean. So anyways. Friends. That I should have lots of friends. That I should have, friends. Well, now they're getting to that place of what in the circumference of your life there are different circles. And even Jesus had that. Jesus had his close few people. And his close few people. And then he had the 12. And then he had the 70 or 72. That's still I'm trying to figure that out. 70 or 72. What is it? And there was 120. And then it was 5,000. Then it was the multitudes. The multitudes were not his friends. So, even Jesus had many acquaintances, but only had a couple of close friends. And John says that he was the beloved. Jesus' bestest friend. His bestest friend. heart of the matter. He leaned onto Jesus's chest. He was close. I think that's more like a Roswitha moment. She was my best friend, but I don't think I was her best friend. I think Jesus was like that. All right. So, this is the way the individual on the video this morning talked about it. And I totally get it. He said he'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Are your friends pennies or are they quarters? Now, I love copper. That is my favorite metal. I mean, I like gold for its value. But man, I see a nice piece of copper or copper rock, you know, a rock with copper in it. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. I would like to have a splatter, like Michigan copper, you know, just it gets melted down, you throw it on the ground, whatever shape it is, you clean it up, you throw it up on your wall. It's called a splatter, a copper splatter. I would love to have one of those. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind having all 3 colors. I'd like to have silver, gold, and copper splatter combined so that it's like... Because I've always liked Black Hills gold. And it has this little copper feel to it. A little silver feel to it. A little gold feel to it. Oh. So I love copper. I love pennies. Pennies are being discontinued. Pennies are being discontinued. Why? Because the value of a penny is less than what it costs to make it. The value of a penny is less than the cost to make it. So if you're spending your time and you're spending your life with pennies, you are spending more than you are getting the value of that. Now I'm going to keep my pennies. So I love them. They're copper. Well, they got a hint of copper in them. I don't think they're copper anymore. So I'm not going to discard pennies and waste them and throw them away. People, they throw pennies on the ground. You don't treat that. If that's how you treat pennies, that you throw it on the ground. Let me tell you something. The streets of gold in heaven, you will trample under feet. Because it's paved. I don't think we're going to be floating around. I mean, we might, but I don't think so. Why would you have streets if you weren't going to walk on them? All right. So, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. One, we've realized that pennies, that's all he said. That was the phrase. I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. And then he said how, no, I think I said it in my head. I said, what we share with 4 quarters will be more than what we will share with 100 pennies. We don't open up to pennies. We don't get intimate with pennies. My change purse will not hold 100 pennies. But you know, I was sitting there thinking, I'd rather have $1 than 4 quarters. Because I feel like I have 4 quarters. But I don't think I have anybody that I can just open up everything to. Like everything. Well, my spouse. But even that, it gets delicate on what you open up to, because if you say something, they might take it offensively, and you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings trying to go through your own. But the hard conversations, that's what makes a peacemaker and not a peacekeeper, right? I heard somebody talk about, they did marriage counseling, and this young couple came in, they wanted to have marriage counseling before they were married, and the pastor asked him, he goes, well, something about arguments, how do you handle yourself in an argument with them? And they go, oh no, we've never had any arguments. We've never had any arguments. And the pastor's like, come back after you've had an argument. Come back after you had an argument, because you're going to have arguments. And knowing how to navigate your arguments, that's where marriage counseling helps. Pre-marriage counseling helps. All right, so, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, I only said that because I was like, my spouse is about the only person that I can open up just about anything to. But I still don't open up everything, because maybe I should. Maybe we should just have some sit downs of, okay, this is stuff that I'm thinking about. Please don't take it wrong. Because there's some things that drive me crazy. But you do. And I'm just processing my crazy, okay? We will be celebrating our 42nd wedding anniversary at the end of the month. So, this is 42 years of crazy, all right? Okay. So with that, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. And I guess my spouse is my dollar bill. Which is funny, because that just hit me. His name is Bill. And when we lived in El Paso, there was a little girl that used to always come over, and she would ask if Dollar was home. And I would like, Dollar? And she goes, yeah, your husband. And I said, why do you call him Dollar? And she goes, his name is Bill, right? She was like 4 years old. So, yeah, he's my dollar bill. And then my friends are quarters. My acquaintances are 100 pennies. I don't carry my acquaintances around. All right. That's pretty much all I got for you. Hold on, pup. Hold on. I have no hands. I'm going to put my coffee down. You want to drop it here? No? Okay. The star of the show, by the way. There she is. She's getting a little better. She's still limping, but not as heavily as she used to. All right, so make sure that you go over to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison, different than my Facebook profile. Mona E. Harrison, you'll see my white hair, my beautiful face. You'll know you're in the right spot. Go there and subscribe, like, share, comment, get all the bells and whistles, notifications. Like, share, and comment both here on Facebook and on YouTube. It helps the algorithm. If you find it, worthy content, I'm not the real, R-E-E-L. I'm the real, R-E-A-L. So it doesn't look fancy. It doesn't look, you know, all the filters, fuzzies, flying all over. No wonder it felt like I swallowed a feather. I probably swallowed a fuzzy from the trees. They're all over the place. All right. Go ahead and help the algorithm, because it's not fancy. I'm not doing ads. I'm not promoting the content. It is self-promoting. It is promoting from word of mouth. It's grassroots promoting. And so with Facebook, it only keeps the videos up for 30 days. 30 days. So sharing it helps it keep moving along. I don't know if it, you know, is 30 days from when I post it, if somebody shares it, or if it will last 30 days from the day they share it. I don't know. I don't know how that works. However, I know that after 30 days, it comes off of my feed. It comes off of my content. And so that's why it is uploaded tonight or tomorrow onto YouTube, so that it will be there and available for as long as YouTube will allow it to be there and available. They say forever, but you know what? Forever's a long time, and that's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. Nothing is guaranteed except for the blood of Jesus. All right, so with that, because God's promises are true. So go over to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison, and subscribe. Okay, blessings, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow for Tips Tuesday. All right.